Okay, we are live. Happy Friday and welcome back to our Friday night live stream. Let me know if the audio sounds good on your end. Today, what is on the agenda? If you saw the packaging, the thumbnail, and the title, we're going to share the best tactic to lose weight. It is guaranteed that your weight is going to move. And I'm not talking about the weight on your scale. I'm talking about your body composition because at the end of the day, that's what we care about. I want you guys to have more muscle, less fat, stronger bone density. What worked for me is making sure to not undereat when I first went carnivore. This morning, I posted a short little reel of a typical meal that I eat for breakfast. And I had this platter of eggs, ground beef, raw cheese, yogurt on the side. Everybody said in the comments on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook, and here on YouTube Shorts, how can you eat so much, Bella? I'm 6'2", I'm a man, and I still can't eat that much. You don't have to eat nearly as much as me, guys. I just want to make sure that you guys are aware that the number one mistake that prevents people from losing weight, that prolongs weight loss stalls, and that causes hair loss is undereating. Okay, so we're going to dive into it. I specifically want to talk about the protocol called priming and how it could possibly help you with your weight loss journey and your goals to get body recomposition. So, hi, Caleb. Let me just put this up really quick. Welcome, everyone. I would love to know where you all are hopping on from. Where are you located? Thank you so much for joining us tonight. And I want to bring on Lindy. Hi, Lindy.
Hi,
Welcome. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
I'm good. So good to have you back on these live streams. I am going to, let's see how we want to do the layout here. This is good. Tell us about your experience in Australia. You've lost 500 pounds so far, and you were able to share your story on stage. How did that feel for you?
Wow, it was traumatic for me. Coming from a very, I've been shy all my life, to actually getting in front of, I think there were around 200 people we worked out, and I actually got up and shared my story. I'm amazed I did it. And from what everyone was saying, I did it like a pro, so which is really
You sure did.
amazing. Yeah, I got up there and, the wonderful Dr. Phil gave me some great advice, just stare at the back of the wall and occasionally look down at the people and just enjoy and relax. And yeah, I just stood up on stage and I have no idea what I said. Like I've had to watch the playback to see what I actually said because I was so focused on breathing and not racing because I was scared. I always hold my breath when I'm nervous, and I thought I'd pass out on stage, and that was going to be embarrassing. But no, I did it. I did it really well, I think, and I'm really happy. It's another tick off my list. The Carnivore courage came through and rescued me on the day. So yeah, it was nice. And having you on stage, I felt very comfortable as well. So
Yeah, totally. No one could tell that it was your first time speaking live. And Lolo is in the chat. Lolo says, I was there, Lindy, and you were amazing.
oh,
Okay,
thank you.
I love that. Well, since I have you first, Lindy, can you share a little bit about your 500-pound weight loss journey? What were the most helpful changes that you made in your life and habits that really brought you the results?
Oh, for me, I had to go for cold turkey, jump 2 feet into strict carnivore, and I basically ate just probably more lion diet just to keep my options really limited because I have a tendency I can't moderate at all. I have to abstain, so I had to keep it very strict. Stick with lion diet, which is ruminant animals, mainly beef, and porterhouse was my steak of choice, and sometimes a few egg yolks and maybe a little bit of butter. I still tended to restrict the fat because I had that mentality, fat makes you fat. And what happened with that is that I was still, I was losing hair and just not feeling 100%. And it wasn't until I sort of let that go and actually increase the fat that things started to improve there. I didn't exercise at all because at, around 750, 800 pounds, I've no idea what my weight was. Exercising at that weight, it hurts. I can't move. I could barely walk from the couch to the, room to room. It was difficult for me. So I just concentrated on being consistent, sticking to carnivore, eating the meat when I was hungry, or, if I started craving, I had to just keep it as a carnivore treat, like a snack, just keep eating that way. And also with the lactose restriction, I couldn't sit down and eat a full meal. So priming was a little bit difficult for me. I had to do a gentle prime. So with my coaches, my SPG coaches, they helped me through like a gentle prime so I could actually get enough nourishment in to the, and then the weight just started falling off. But I had to get past that restriction, restricting meat, and get that out of my head and just keep eating. And that was definitely the trick, to get my metabolism ramped up and start losing the weight.
I'm so proud of you, Lindy. Thank you for always being so brave and confident in sharing your story to the carnivore community and to anyone who watches these live streams. So I brought on Todd at the Carnivore Care right here. And I wanted to, before I asked Todd how he has been approaching his weight loss journey, I wanted to quickly share my experience at the Australia Carnivore event. I'm telling you guys, these in-person carnivore events are so wonderful. Not just because you get to see your favorite carnivore YouTubers, doctors, speakers in person, you get to meet them, you get to give them a hug, take photos, and have those conversations, but more so because you can meet carnivore friends. Okay. And I just saw so many carnivores there make those friendships, have those conversations with people that are local to them. So when you go to meetups that are near you or where you live, your chances of finding friends, accountability buddies, even partners, romantic ones, are so much higher and so much easier. So we actually have a Montana meetup coming up, and we're just going to put it up on the screen so you guys can see the speakers coming to this one. And it is happening July 4th to July 5th this year, 2025. So that's in just under 60 days away, in Todd's hometown, Bozeman, Montana. So we're all flying over to Montana to celebrate this wonderful weekend. What are you excited about, Todd?
Oh man, I'm excited about meeting all the carnivores that are in this area for sure. That's going to be fantastic, and I just love the meetups. I've been to a few with you guys at SPG and Hack Your Health, and I've been to a few with Healing Humanity, and they're just fun. Like, you can't put them into words when you actually meet people in person compared to just online, and you see all the change in people, firsthand, and you just kind of feel the, feel the energy, the carnivore energy of everybody changing their life together. It's so much fun to meet people, especially locally in your area, and just get to know carnivores in real life. It's always been fun because everybody seems to get there and then they start going, oh, I just live just down the road, or whatever, and they start texting. It's pretty awesome. So very exciting.
You just never know. If you're feeling lonely, being the only carnivore you know, these in-person events are the best place to make friends, honestly, and to find your romantic partner. We always have live stream viewers saying like, oh, where would you recommend to find a boyfriend, a girlfriend, a potential partner? It's these in-person events. That's what I recommend. Okay. Great. Right. So svg.events, if you guys want the URL, it is linked down below as well. I dropped it in the live chat too. Todd, what is your best lifestyle change? What was the one thing that really promised you weight loss results thus far?
Believe it or not, I was actually eating more, getting nourished on the right foods. That's what priming specifically did for me, because I'd lost 300 pounds twice in my life before and 200 pounds twice in my life before, but it came back. And what I did not realize was all that crash dieting that I'd done and all the extreme diets that I'd done had just absolutely destroyed my metabolism. And that was one of the main things. And so, and it's beat into us, right? All the calorie restrictive diets and all the extreme, yo-yo diet channels that are out there pushing quick results because everybody wants this, this magic pill of do this and you're going to have a beach body type of thing, and you chase it. But the reality is that nourishment and healing is what heals your metabolic system, your metabolism, your health and your hormones. And that's what frees you from the roller coaster. That's what gives you long lasting, results that you can finally step off of the diet roller coaster and stop making diet your whole life and stop making that battle your whole life. So it's actually getting nourished and doing the priming that was the number one change that made the difference for me.
I love that. I think we can all agree that the priming is pretty life-changing, especially if you want to heal, then lose weight. Laura, how about you? What helped you with your weight loss?
Well, the priming was the final key. I had started losing weight when I switched to a carnivore diet, but also gave myself extreme sugar cravings, making some keto type treats that was basically being told that, oh, yes, these are things you can have when you eat this way, using low glycemic artificial sweeteners, or excuse me, natural sweeteners to replace sugar in that. So I had this raging sweet tooth, constantly craving sweets, something that I had never had even before in my journey. And I found Steak and Butter Gang and started the 30-day challenge. And within days of priming, again, since we're talking about priming, that was the key. It got rid of the food noise in my head. It made the sugar cravings just stop. And or artificial sugar cravings, whatever you want to call it. It shut off that part of my brain. And I probably gained about 5 pounds maybe priming in the beginning, but that went away. And I'm 3+ years into carnivore now, and my body has continued to shape and recontour as that 3 years has gone on. And it's only gotten better. And I am a high-fat carnivore, so.
Yes, I love that you always emphasize that, because I know that women, when they hear high-fat carnivore, their ears, they kind of perk up and they're like, what? What do you mean by
Yes.
high-fat carnivore? And want to learn more. So,
Yes.
Laura, how young are you?
I am a little over 70 years old. I turned 70 last August, so I'm almost heading to the other side of it now again. So.
Fantastic. And Phil, welcome. Good to have you back again. Let me ask you this.
Here.
Good to have you. What is priming to you?
So priming can be whatever you need it to be. So I think for me, it was how to get my metabolism reset from chronic undereating all my life. Well, actually, it wasn't all my life. It was for weight I gained after I got sick in 2001. And I needed a metabolic reset. But I also see priming as the answer to addressing many of the illnesses that people are dealing with, because we get into this downward spiral and we need to get rid of inflammatory foods, and eating large volumes of fatty meats reduces inflammation in our body, and we begin to reverse disease processes that are ravaging our body and making us age quicker. Now, Laura, one thing I want to tell you, my big large pumpkin head has not gotten smaller with carnivore. So if we could find something that could shrink my skull,
What?
I would really,
Why?
that would be my next thing. Well, I've always had just a big head.
I mean,
I like
in
to have a
Chinese culture,
smaller head, but
interesting.
oh,
Yeah, no, the bigger the head, the better, really.
oh, really? Okay.
See, Phil?
Absolutely.
See, I had to stuff brains into something, so I got a bigger head.
I had gray
So-
hair go dark.
Yeah.
Maybe you'll just start getting hair.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that'll be the day. You have to understand, everyone on my grandmother's side was like a cue ball. So any hair I have is a miracle.
Oh,
Wow.
And my dad has a full head of hair, and he's 96.
wow.
So it's not
Wow.
fair.
Yeah. Great definition. Now is the time to drop your comments, guys. So capital Q, please, so that Todd can easily identify your questions for us. We've got a fantastic team tonight. We've got Lindy, who is ready to answer anytime, but she will be happy to moderate tonight. We've got Todd, Laura, Dr. Phil Smith, and myself. We are here to help you. These Friday night live Q&As are purely to answer your questions. So drop those questions with a capital Q in the beginning, and we will start answering rapid fire. So I see yours, frankly, James. What is priming? I'll give you a really clear-cut definition: 3 meals a day, every single day. For how long is where Dr. Phil's recommendation is very important. It can be for as long as you need it to be to support your healing goals and to make sure you are truly eating enough. So I'll use my story as an example. I needed to prime, eat 3 meals a day. That's what priming is, for 6 months. Laura, on the other hand, only needed to prime for how long?
I did probably 10 days initially. I did start moving into the calendar at that point, but there were 1 or 2 times that I did have to backtrack and do what we call a mini prime, where you add like 3 to 5 additional days in before you're ready to continue with the calendar. And that's in moving into like alternate day fasting, 48-hour fast. Right. So if you don't feel like you're ready when you start, if you're struggling with, whatever type of fasting we're currently doing, then you return to what they call a mini prime. And I did have to do that at least twice in the 60 days. And it worked successfully, because then I was able to go through to the end, and now I can fast pretty effortlessly when I choose.
Yeah. So just goes to show it will be different and very personal for each new carnivore. If you guys want all of the priming and fasting calendars, the creator of this protocol is Coach Raymond Nazon, and the link is on the screen to join our next challenge. sbgmeetup.com, also linked down below. Okay, let's do the questions now. Thank you, Todd. Good to see you, Nav. Is Nav still in the gang? Amazing. Amazing. You're muted, Todd. I don't hear you yet.
Oh, yes, he is. I think he's. I think it's very early for him when the other calls are going on during the day, so he comes and hangs out.
Oh, where is Nav? Is he international?
He is. I don't remember where he's at, but I don't see him. I don't think he's either at work or he can't make it during the day very much. But
amazing. So Nav says, Bella, how do you eat 1 pound of beef, 7 eggs, cheese, and all that other stuff? I saw from your YouTube short. Literally just posted that a couple hours ago, and it is going viral on YouTube. So looks like you guys like looking at my plates. How do I eat it? That is a piece of cake. That is like literally a piece of carnivore cake for me to eat that amount. I can eat double, triple if I really felt like it. How can I eat that amount? Todd, I'm pretty tall, right?
Oh yeah, she's very tall. Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Exactly. I'm 5'10", and 5'10" for a young Asian 28-year-old woman. I think my metabolism right now is just the healthiest it's ever been. So when I have a fast metabolism, I lift heavy things like 3 times a week now. I wake up at 6 a.m. I go to bed at around midnight these days. I just have so much energy, and I filmed a long form YouTube video just a couple days ago, just complaining about some annoyances after being carnivore for 6 years. I was just being sarcastic, guys. These are wonderful benefits to have, but the unlimited energy feeds into my huge appetite. If I'm going to move a lot, if I have all this energy, I'm jittery all the time because I want to do things, which is a good sign. I need to feed myself more food, and that's simply how I am these days. And then I'm tall as well. So Laura, she eats a lot too. Okay. I want you guys to compare these 2 very different women here. I went on a carnivore cruise with Laura, spent like 6-7 days hanging out with her, sitting down at the dining table. And I look to my left, and she has multiple ribeye steaks on her plate, and she's smearing generously blue cheese. That's her favorite combo right there. Okay.
Yes.
So how do you eat so much?
I think I have hollow legs. Truly.
Me too.
So it depends. Although we're talking about priming. We were joking that really that cruise was a mini prime for all of us, because we were all eating copious amounts of food because it was there and we could. But I'm able to do that. I do have a big appetite, and I don't know, I burn it off. I too am very active. I do spin class, I play pickleball, I hike, I paddleboard. I walk with neighbors and friends. I have a jump sport over here I use also. So I just use it up. And women are such notorious undereaters. We just don't understand how we need to eat. And if you just listen to what Bella said and listen to what Lindy said, my gosh, Lindy finally upped her calories and she loses 500 pounds. How is that possible? But you have to understand there is a method, and we finally in the carnivore community, we understand what it is. So anyway, I don't know where I put it all, but it works for me.
I love that you say these things and that you have the firsthand experience. It's not everyone who will have the courage and the commitment level to actually get to the point where you eat more for long enough where you actually upregulate the metabolism and finally reap the benefits. It's a longer path to walk for sure. It's not going to be that shortcut that most people want. In fact, unpopular opinion, carnivore diet isn't. It is not a fast track to weight loss. I wouldn't even label it as a weight loss diet. It just happens to be because we focus on healing. These are the OG carnivores that really started this messaging. Focus on healing, heal inside out. The rest of whatever you want will come. We promise you. Okay? Let's keep going. Thank you, Nav. Caleb, good to see you. Let's all go subscribe to Caleb's channel. He's a new young teenage carnivore. We support that so much. Can I arm wrestle Max in Washington for fun? Absolutely. Yes. The answer is yes. We look forward to seeing you there.
But Baker gets next, so.
I think I could take him on.
Let's go.
Oh, okay, Caleb. It's a package deal. All right. Juan, welcome. What do you think of bulletproof coffee, Bella? I've been having it for years. Absolutely love it. It's about 25 grams of butter for me. Don't see coconut oil. Okay. Bulletproof coffee is, I think, popular because of the ketogenic community, like the keto people, right? Laura, you have experience with that. Yeah, exactly. I never have tried bulletproof coffee. What I have tried, though, is raw egg yolks in coffee. I don't know if you guys call that bulletproof, but I like my coffee black. I actually have some, trying to fix my jet lag from China and Australia still. But black coffee for me, if you have to have sweetness or milkiness or creaminess, go for raw egg yolks first before you dabble into cream, milk, butter, whatever sweeteners you're trying to have. Best to cut out the sweeteners. Why? Because when you have butter in your hot coffee, it could give you diarrhea. We don't typically recommend melted fats here. Second, if you have milk and cream, that could make you stall for weight loss. We hear it too many times here at the Friday night live streams that I don't recommend that first. Third, I cover all of the no's. Raw egg yolks are just great because you're getting lots of fat, healthy fats, and some protein. It's a perfect 2-to-1 fat to protein ratio food. So it just gives you that support that you need when you're drinking caffeine. What are your thoughts, Phil, on this question?
Well, first off, I think that at the end was he doesn't use coconut oil because
Correct.
Classic but bulletproof coffee is the coffee, the butter, and the coconut oil together.
Oh,
so
okay. I see.
I think that's the classic recipe for it.
Okay.
I think it's probably a better appetite suppressant than coffee alone. Half the people in the carnivore community don't drink coffee. Some do. I think you really have to decide for yourself what you're going to do with it. But when we're priming people, we really like you to get off the coffee for the 2 weeks that you're priming to see what kind of benefits you have. And we see a lot of people that stall with weight loss that when they cut out the coffee for a while, they actually do better because of the spike in cortisol that a lot of people get in the mornings, and that can slow down weight loss. So that would be my comments.
Yeah. If you guys don't have the heart to let go of coffee for good, have it after your first meal, whenever that first meal may be. In the priming program, we actually highly recommend you guys all start off with a breakfast. A lot of you guys are here from the gang and the challenge, so you know. And having the coffee after your breakfast makes a very, very, very big difference in not spiking your cortisol. Okay, so hopefully that helps, Juan. Thank you for the question. Keep us posted. All right. Betty, I need help. I'm starting over on the carnivore diet. I'm having a hard time getting started. Help, please. And she's starting over again. Todd, what are your tips?
Number one, I would join SBG. I know that that sounds, Bella wouldn't tell you that, but it's the truth, because, carnivore is a long game, and priming is one of the cures to when you're starting getting over all those cravings and finally getting free from the sugar and the standard American diet addictions that we have with eating disorders and everything that we all kind of get stuck on. And I truly think that the number one thing that keeps me focused is a good carnivore community, and then, help eating through the cravings and help getting past that first part and getting consecutive days behind you, and seeing a community full of people that do it every day, so that you can see that, it can be done for a lot of people easier than you think, for, months and years on end, and string those together. Because at first it's just hard to get your mind wrapped around that you can do that and actually be free from an eating addiction. But when you're around so many people that are doing it, it's kind of contagious. It's a really handy thing. So I would join SPG, and then, other than that, I would eat through the cravings, eat carnivore fatty meats until you get through the other side. But there's a lot of things you have to do to kind of change your food environment and make plans that a good carnivore community can help you. So I would join SPG, to be honest with you.
Thanks for that, Todd. It's always linked down below if you guys want. Go ahead, Laura.
If you haven't tried the priming, Betty, do the priming. I cannot tell you any more clearly how strongly I feel that was the missing piece for me, and the missing piece for many other people that I have met in the last 3 years in the community. If you haven't done the priming, do that. 30 days. Anybody can do something for 30 days. And you're not priming for 30 days, mind you, but that first calendar is 30 days. Try the priming if you haven't done it, because that, I think, will be your key to success.
Appreciate that, Laura. Love you so much. I just want to add to this real quick. If you cannot afford the $30 price tag to join the Steak and Butter Gang for a month, just 30 days, I think that a lot of you guys can just up your meals for free at home. Yes, it's going to take a bit more commitment and accountability on yourself to really do the 3 meals a day every day for a period of time to actually form that habit. And that's why the meetings that Todd does, that Dr. Phil here does, that Laura helps out with, that Raymond coaches, it's built to help you guys build those habits easily. And so when you can talk to this team, whenever you're struggling, whenever you're doubting, you have no idea how helpful it can be. And you get to do it with a community. So I do highly recommend it if you guys are struggling with the commitment aspect and you want to seriously do the priming part. Thank you, team. Let's keep going.
Right. And speak of the devil.
Yes. Okay. So we did define this, frankly, earlier if you missed it, but it's 3 meals a day for as long as you need. When do you know you've primed enough? When you stop having sugar cravings. Just like Laura, she stopped having sugar cravings. I stopped having sugar cravings. For some, it takes 6 months. For Spiritual Sunshine, it might just take two months. For Phil, it may have taken just a few weeks. It just depends on the person.
For sure. All right.
Love it. Marsha, welcome. Weight gain for a man, my hobby. Okay, so she wants to help her husband gain weight, as in healthy weight, is what I'm assuming here. So do you want to start, Phil?
Yeah, again, we find priming is a great place to start. And it's interesting physiologically how people begin to to head towards a more ideal body weight and body composition over time with carnivore. So people that are overweight tend to lose weight. People that are underweight tend to gain weight. And that's because the body is healing. And it's whatever has created the weight that you're functioning at is usually some type of metabolic dysfunction or inflammation in your body. And as you resolve that, the body will naturally move towards the mean, so to speak, of where you should be functioning. And just kind of eat and trust the process is my
Yeah.
advice.
And Phil, do you see her update there? So hubby is in the gang and he's in the group. He's doing
Oh,
priming,
good.
I'm assuming. So
Good.
any additional things? Because I have something to add if you don't.
I don't have anything to add, so go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, raw dairy. Raw dairy is a great way to kind of boost the body to gain the healthy weight. Encourage it to a little bit more than just trusting the process if you kind of want to rush it. So raw dairy, specifically things like raw cheese, raw cream, even raw milk could be an option for the husband. So if you can find your hands on raw milk, just go to realmilk.com. That's the best source to find raw dairy near you and see what you can find. Let your husband experiment with raw dairy. Okay. Would you rather? Welcome. I'm 4 months in. Acne is worse than ever. Dumping oxalates through my face. What do I do? I'll take this. So 4 months in, acne is worse than ever. Dumping oxalates through my face. What to do? Okay, oxalate dumping loves to happen through our skin. Todd recently has gone through a bout of oxalate dumping himself. He can give you his tips after me. I dumped oxalates through my eyes, and I knew that I was because never in my life until I went full carnivore did I produce that much gunk and crystals out of my eyes, to the point where every single morning I would wake up, couldn't even force my eyes open because they were so sticky and filled with gunk and crystals. So you just never know how it's going to, I guess, produce on your body. Sally K. Norton, highly recommend her. She is the expert on oxalate dumping. She said she dumped oxalates through her urine for the longest time. Foamy urine is a sure sign that you're oxalate dumping. Oxalates just want to come out of all of the holes in your body. So whether it's in your nose, eyes, pores of your skin. Okay. Sally said a lot of her clients see crystals coming out of their skin. So I'm not surprised that you're dumping a lot. May I guess, like, were you vegan? Were you vegetarian once? 4 months in is no time at all to start expecting your acne to get better or your skin issues to get better. I'll tell you, with my skin healing journey, my skin was the last to heal. So please be patient. Okay. Tips, Todd.
Yeah, for sure. I went through 3 bouts of oxalate dumping, but the last one was pretty nasty. And, to be honest with you, until the last one, I wasn't sure that they were real. And then that last one made me a believer. Yeah. And I just thought it was probably detoxing and of something or whatever, but it was definitely oxalate dumping because the test, when I got that from Coach Alyssa, she said to try some green tea and see if it would go away. And sure enough, it went away in less than 20 minutes. Every time that I did it, I'd get relief. And I mean, I had a nasty nerve pain going down my right arm that had lasted weeks. And for the first time, 20 minutes after having some green tea, it went away for the first time. And then I was able to do that over the next few weeks. And so that was really the biggest thing, is just slowing down the oxalates by having a little bit of oxalates. And the green tea seems to be the best. And you only need 4 to 6 ounces. And that's a really good test to make sure that it is oxalate dumping too. If you take a little bit of green tea and the symptoms let up, then you've tracked it down. And then, there's some other stuff. I didn't really do it, but if you read Sally K. Norton's book, Toxic Superfood, she talks about using calcium and some citric acid to help bind it and get it out of your body and pee it out and stuff. And
there are ways.
Yeah, for sure.
That's great. That's great. So I'm curious, for those who are here in this live stream with us, have you ever experienced oxalate dumping, and what symptoms did you go through? I'd be very curious to know. Drop it in the comments, please, or in the live chat. I do want to share that. Would you rather? Thank you for the super chat. These super chats are helpful if you guys want to make sure to get your question answered. We forgot to share this tip. Obviously, we want to answer as many questions as possible in the order that they came in. But for super chats, we prioritize those whenever those come in. Okay. Just wanted to make that clear. Joe, welcome. I want to understand, you are advocating no produce. Tell us your thoughts on berries, avocados, lemons, please. Thank you. 100%. I think maybe you're new here, Joe. Welcome if you are. All four of us have not eaten vegetables and fruits in a very long time. I'll speak for myself. It's been 6 years since I've had a piece of broccoli and a banana, anything that came from a plant. Why? Not because I'm crazy and I'm just following a diet to follow a diet. It truly is because these plant foods cause my skin to flare up. I wish I could show photos of when my skin really has a histamine flare and a full-on rash, an allergic reaction. It looks terrifying. I don't want this for any of you guys. But the moment I have any spices, I will get skin issues. I will get a rash on the body. If I have, for example, seed oils, right, and I don't know that it was in my meal, I can literally taste it and I know I had it because the next morning I will have rashes. So unfortunately, some people, they need to eliminate these anti-nutrients, these inflammatory plant toxins, if you want to call it that, to have a functional life. And for me, I'm functional, but I'm also thriving. I want to stay this way. Phil, why don't you eat vegetables and fruits?
Well, I get all the nutrients I need from animal products, so why would I need to do that?
Right.
I've just found that being on a no carb diet has been the best thing for my health. So,
Laura, why don't you eat vegetables or fruits?
Well, to be honest, I do sometimes have limes in my soda water, and I do, as I told them earlier in the open chat today, I do occasionally have avocado when I make my carnivore chili. I'll put some avocado on top, but I don't react to any of those things. There's certain things that I will, like I said, avocados, a lime. I like lime in my soda water. But one thing that I did find when I finally gave up, so I went ketovore originally. I was meat-based, protein forward, and a little vegetable. When I finally gave up the last of the vegetables, when I went carnivore, it ended a nagging morning cough that I had had for my entire adult life, probably since I was in my early 30s. I'd started having this, and I would cough every morning. I didn't know why, just coughed. And if I do have some kind of vegetable now, the next day, guess what I have in the morning?
Off, yeah.
Yeah. So I have,
Wow.
since I've gotten rid of the vegetables, with the exception, like I said, of the probably 4 avocados that I eat a year, I don't have to take allergy medication anymore. I don't use nasal spray anymore. I don't have this racking cough anymore. I used to have to keep an inhaler with me because I would get such bad upper respiratory. I haven't had an upper respiratory infection since I gave up vegetables. So I choose not to eat those. And like I said, I will have limes, and I do occasionally have an avocado, but I've gotten rid of the rest of it.
Amazing. And Todd, real quick, why don't you eat produce?
Well, because the immune response I have to that stuff is absolutely miserable. Like, I'll have a little bit of stuff. I'll have pickled jalapenos, and I have certain hot sauces that are vinegar based. And I only do that because I've tested them one at a time, and they make a great condiment because I don't have a reaction to it. However, if I have a piece of iceberg lettuce, my knee swells up like a softball, and I can't hardly walk on the dang thing. If I have some onions or some garlic, even dried onions or garlic, I just get inflamed everywhere, and I have a just like a mucus response to it, and my eyes water, and just all this stuff. And, I love what Jordan Peterson calls carnivore, which is an animal-based elimination diet. And then you can go back for yourself, and once you get your diet really clean, one thing at a time, and you can test what you can tolerate and what you can't. What I found out is that things that are pickled in vinegar, it seems to take the oxalates out of them or neutralize them or something. So I can have some of those things. So I'll use them as a condiment. But other than that, I just have no place for it. That's my food's food. My food,
right.
I'll get vegetables via my beef. Yeah.
You're technically vegan, Todd.
Exactly.
Wait, I wanted to share that with Todd's tip about the vinegar. When he said it, like, I want to say like a year and a half ago, that was the first time I heard it. And then I put two and two together when I started hearing Dr. Sean O'Mara talk about fermented foods and the benefits of fermentation. My dad, who I just went to China to visit, his whole diet is centered around fermentation, fermented foods. He didn't know who Dr. O'Mara was, but he put two and two together in China. And I just want to share, like, there may be something interesting about fermentation, and it doesn't just apply to carnivore foods. What are some fermented carnivore foods, you ask? Kefir, yogurt, cheese. Fermented non-carnivore foods, kimchi. Do we know what kimchi is? It's like a Korean fermented veggie.
Favorite.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's so good. Sauerkraut, right? So these types of fermentation foods may be providing a lot of healing and gut health and benefits, like Todd is experiencing, like my father is. And we can go into this more. I'm happy to bring Dr. O'Mara on. I don't want to spend too much time on this question, but thank you, Joe. Westfield, welcome and thank you. How do you build muscle and lose weight on a carnivore diet with the high fat in this diet? Any bodybuilders in this community? Firstly, do we know of any bodybuilders in this community?
Well, maybe,
Sean?
but yeah, maybe Chafee, Sean.
Yeah, naturally. Yeah, they're like the most capable, strong, weightlifting types of men. What about that guy, that very, very, that athlete? Remember, Todd, you said, oh my gosh, guess who's on the carnivore diet? Isn't
Oh
he a
yeah,
bodybuilder?
well yeah. So he's putting on. I think he's the world's Eddie Hall.
Eddie Hall, yeah.
Eddie Hall is doing carnivore now, and he's putting on a ton of muscle and staying pretty lean. And he dropped a bunch
There
of
we
fat
go.
and got lean. Yeah, on Eddie Hall.
Check out Eddie Hall.
Carnivore Ray too.
Yep.
Carnivore Ray is a great one,
Mhm.
so relatable. We all know Joe Rogan loves a good carnivore reset as well. So,
Oh, Carnivore JT's ripped too.
oh, for sure.
Oh,
Definitely
yeah.
check out Carnivore
Right.
GT.
And Jake? What about Jake?
Jake, Life Like Jake. Yeah,
Yeah.
so many actually, if you think about it. A lot of them are on Instagram, not on YouTube, but I would search Carnivore Ray. Oh, don't you have a photo, Todd, that you could share of Ray and Lindy?
Yeah, let's see. Let me pull it up.
Okay, so I would search Carnivore Ray, Carnivore JT, and Life Like Jake, and then definitely Eddie Hall. He's a famous one. Right there. That's Carnivore Ray. We all got to meet him in Australia in person. He is so funny. Oh my gosh, he's so good. Yeah. So yeah, he's great. Great source of learning for carnivore. What else? For building muscle, losing weight on carnivore with high fat, I'll take this part. The purpose for high fat carnivore diet, to me, I've experienced it, I've seen plenty of other people experience it as well, is it really helps nourish the hormones, rebalance the hormones, and just give you the healing that you need before the body finally feels safe to let go of that extra fat. I think that's the path that we all want to go after. We're not trying to cheat the system and get the overnight success, the 10 pounds down in 7 days, because we all know by now that weight loss never sticks. I'm sure we've all tried it. Did we, keep that weight loss for more than a month? And did it bite you back with even more weight gain? I'm pretty sure it did. So the whole reasoning behind a high fat carnivore diet is to rebalance the hormones so that your body feels safe to let go of the extra fat. Did you want to add, Todd?
Oh yeah, I can absolutely attest to that, because when I started carnivore, my total testosterone was 137. Then I got it up to, my highest testosterone score was 588, which was like 10 months ago. And that was after eating 54 eggs a day for a long, long time, drinking 54 egg yolks for the fat. And I did that, and my testosterone went up to 588. And then I went, for whatever reason, I was craving very lean meat all winter. And I ate just lean meat, just lean, a lot of New Yorks, and wasn't adding fat and cooking off and trimming off some of the fat. I did that. I gained about 30 pounds over the winter, but it was mostly muscle. But my testosterone tanked back down to 178, I think it was the last time I got it checked.
Mm.
So I actually watched what happened when I just ate too much lean meat over the winter what happened to my testosterone. So now I'm back on a 1.5 to 1 fat to protein, working up to a 2 to 1 fat to protein just for my testosterone. So it's
That's
100%.
so cool.
Yeah.
Wow. 1.5 to 1 is where everyone should kind of see it as the sweet spot for long-term success. But 2 to 1 is the spot for ultimate healing. I'll say that right now. And I'm so excited that Todd's going to work to 2 to 1. Typically, 2 to 1 is recommended for women, but it's clear that it can also benefit men. That's
For
so
sure.
cool. Yeah.
For sure. And, for everybody that's worried about losing weight on a high fat diet, I could eat 6 to 7 pounds of steak a day all winter long. And as soon as I went to 1.5 to 1, I can't eat 2 pounds of food a day. Like it's breaking me to try to get that much fat in. It just, the leptin is so strong, it just shuts down your appetite. And I was having to break 2 pounds of food into 2 meals and choke it down. Like it's so hard. And it tastes great. Well, exactly what I'm eating is 400 grams of 80-12 ground beef, 40 egg yolks, and a can of cod livers, which is 200 grams of protein, 300 grams of fat. And I have to break that into 2 meals. It weighs about 2 1/3 pounds, which I could have done that. And I could have done twice that in a meal, easy.
Yeah.
And this whole time, I've been having a heck of a time getting it down just because my satiation hormones just kick on about half of it. And so this is why calories do not matter on carnivore, especially high fat carnivore, because your body takes over and you can't overeat. You're so satiated and your body just takes over. That's why the calorie thing on carnivore is such a stupid conversation, in my opinion,
That's seriously so cool to hear, because I always feel like in these live streams, I get to hear reminders of how my year 2, year 3 went through Todd's current experience, Laura's current experience, and all of your guys' current experience. Like, I will say, I maybe jumped on the train quite early. I'm 6 years in. And when I first started carnivore, I was eating 5 pounds of meat in a day. Now I can't even, if I even force myself, I don't think I could do more than 3 pounds of meat in a day. And that's pushing it. My sweet spot now is 2.5 pounds a day. How could I have gotten to this spot without manipulating my calories and making sure I was portion controlling all the time? Was because I was eating as much as I needed. I trusted my body and appetite to let my body get to this point in the journey naturally. It's a scary thing for most people. It's so scary, but we're here to help you. So come back every week. All right, 5 minutes and we have to wrap up. Lolo, struggling with priming and too much food. Coming from keto, 1 meal a day, I'm struggling with the amount of food. Advice, please. Laura, why don't you take this? So she's struggling with priming.
Struggling with priming and too much food. I'm curious to know how much she's eating in 1 meal a day that she's struggling with that.
Yeah.
I don't even know what to say. Break it down into smaller meals, I would think would be the best thing to do. Instead of trying to do an OMAD, do 2 MAD, maybe even 2 MAD with a snack. It's going to allow you a little bit more time to try to get that food in, but maybe just trying to put it all into 1 meal is too much. So I would definitely eat, like even as an example, when I first get up, I usually eat 3 pieces of bacon or something before I have a cup of coffee with some butter in it. Then later, after I work out, I'll come home and I'll have what I consider my breakfast. And that might be a 1/2 pound of ground beef and 2 or 3 egg yolks. It could be just a 1/2 pound of ground beef. It might be a 1/4 pound of ground beef, just depending on how hungry I am. And then I still eat again. So for the most part, I'm eating 3 times a day. I don't consider that 3 pieces of bacon in the morning really a meal. I just consider that the priming for the day. Basically.
I love that.
And especially because I do lift weights. I go into the gym, I do that, and I want something in my body for that. But when I come home about an hour after I lift, maybe an hour and a half after I lift, I am ready for a meal. So instead of trying to do 1, break it down. Do 2 smaller meals and then try and have some kind of a proper carnivore snack in there too. I think it'll wake up your appetite
Yes.
And maybe you just have, you've gotten too into this OMAD thing and you need to kind of rekindle that appetite.
Well said. Yeah, Lolo's coming from an OMAD history, so all the more reason to do multiple smaller meals to slowly rekindle that appetite. I love how you said that, Laura. Your tips are fantastic. Perfect. Let's keep going. All right, let's rapid fire. One person per question. I'll do this. How do you know when you're ready to move on from priming? Many, what you would know when you have zero sugar cravings. That's the surest sign, when you have zero sugar cravings. Another one is you just cannot eat another bite and you hate Coach Raymond. Next. Target prime rib. Why is priming called priming? What is the origin? I can take this. Raymond says this all the time. He wants to help you prep and prime your body for intermittent fasting down the line. Do you have to do intermittent fasting? No. Lindy never did intermittent fasting or extended fasting. She was just happy with priming in her own way, in her own style. So priming really is just prepping and priming your body to eat less and to eat comfortably. Okay. But we have to first prime. Foxy Joe, I have added cheese after 4 months. I have actually gained weight. Okay, so what's the question here? Like, why? Phil, why don't you take this?
Well, we typically see that some people, when they add dairy in, will start to gain weight. That's why it does
Sure.
work for people that are underweight or they're priming and they need the cheese to get more food in. So if weight gain's not your desire, then cut out the dairy.
Exactly. And, there are unicorns out there who can have dairy every now and again, who can truly moderate around dairy and just have little bits of it and not have to gain weight. It just may not be you right now at this moment in time. Will you be able to have it and not gain weight down the line? Maybe after some deep healing? Very possible. So don't be down. Just cut it out. Let's get the weight loss going. Eat more, please.
I do want to add that there's a difference between processed cheese and if you get the raw unpasteurized cheese.
For sure. I talk about this like every video.
Really recommend before you stop dairy completely, if you want to try a different type of cheese, even Costco sells unpasteurized cheese, aged cheese. So give it a try.
Thanks so much. Oh, I think Bella might have froze for a second.
Oh,
yeah.
I'll read this one out. It says from Westfield 90, respect for all of you for your knowledge, dedication, and advice. Thank you. Love the keto carnivore community. Genuinely helpful.
thank you.
Thank you so much. We appreciate you so much, and thank you for your support. We appreciate that. Bella is having some internet connection issues. Let's see. While we're waiting for Bella, we'll show this one more time. This is the Montana meetup. If you guys want to come and hang out with us for the 4th of July and the 5th of July, we got a pretty star-studded cast of, we got Dr. Baker, Bella, Dr. Chafee, Carrie Mann, Dr. Kiltz, myself, and I believe Elisa Wiederman's coming and many more. If you guys want to come and check it out, go to sbgmeetup.com. Or sorry, sbg.events. Sorry, wrong one. sbg.events. You can come check it out. All right. And we lost Bella. So I think we're going to sign off for, she's back right here.
Yeah, just wait. She'll be back.
Okay.
There she is.
I just wanted to be back to announce the Montana meetup, and then we'll say a good night.
We just did.
We just did that while you were frozen.
In your absence.
You guys are great. Then I guess we're good. If you guys need support, join us in the gang, and we will see you next Friday night. So put this on your calendars. We do this every single week, whenever we can. Of course, if there's no traveling and carnivore events. But we'll see you next Friday, same time. Okay.
See you guys. Love y'all.
Thank
See you
you
next
guys.
Friday.
See you in Montana.
See you in Montana.
Yes.
Happy Friday.
See you in Montana.